Good afternoon, my name is Nicolette Carsillo, and I've gathered everyone here tonight to talk to our new athletic training staff about how we go about managing prescription and non-prescription medications in the athletic training room. First of all, the policy and procedure manual for medication use is listed on the NATA website, and it talks about all of the guidelines that I'm about to touch base with you on how we distribute medications. All prescription and non-prescription medications should be distributed under the advice and consent of a prescribing physician. And we also want to obtain written documentation from the physicians who prescribed us these medications. As athletic trainers, it's our responsibility to administer medications and to make sure that we are properly educating the athletes on how to take these medications. It's the athlete's responsibility to make sure that they are taking our precise instructions of use and that they are properly educated beforehand of taking the medications. We get our prescribed medications from a physician, and it is the athletic trainer's administration's responsibility to comply an annual review of exactly how athletic training facilities can modify their procedures of giving out medications. And also, although we don't allow coaches or students to give out medications, if we did, we would just need to keep a written protocol of the defined responsibilities of how to dispense medications, which is the policy and procedure manual listed on the NATA website. The FDA is in charge of distribution and labeling of medications. The DEA is in charge of overseeing prescription and controlled substances, as well as disposal of medications. OSHA is in charge of providing standards for contamination, and the State Board of Medicine is in charge of regulating the learning and distribution of medications for things such as pharmacies. Medications should always be kept in a locked cabinet inside of a locked room. I have discussed this with Russ, and he has agreed to try and maintain our cabinet and doctor's office locked more so that it's inaccessible to athletes. And also, if you have samples or controlled substances, you want to make sure that they're stored away from medications within the locked cabinet. When away, our medications are going to be kept in a kit with the athletic trainer, and we need to make sure that all medications are inspected routinely to make sure that none of them have expired. During away situations, prescription medications are only to be assessed by physicians, while non-prescription medications can be assessed from certified athletic trainers. And we always want to make sure that we're providing correct education on usage of medications, and always document the medications that we are giving out. We also want to make sure that we're carrying formally signed identification of medications from the prescribing physician, and if you're traveling internationally, you want to make sure that you're following the FDA import and export laws. A DEA certificate can be obtained from the physician responsible for prescribing the medications on hand. This is not required unless the facility wishes to administer controlled substances. And since we do administer controlled substances, we actually do not have a DEA certificate, but I have also brought this up with Russ. All of our medications need to be packaged and labeled according to the FDA's 7-point label guidelines. First, it needs to make sure it has the name of the product, the name and the address of the manufacturer, the net contents of the package, the established name of all active and non-active ingredients, the name of any habit-forming drugs contained in preparation, the cautions and warnings listed, and the adequate directions for safe and effective use. Documentation is one of the most important parts of handling medications in the athletic training facility. Both prescriptions and over-the-counter medications need to be reported. In our doctor's office, we keep a record sheet, and on this record sheet it has the athlete's name, the injury and illness, the medication given, the dosage, the lot number, and the date that we administered their medications. All records need to also be transferred into sportswear, and if you're administering ionophoresis or phonophoresis, details can be put into their daily rehab log. According to the NATA statement, it is legal to use prescription medications for treatment of multiple athletes as long as the medication is properly labeled and stored. For emergency emergency medications such as EpiPens or inhalers, we administer and properly educate the patient on how to use the medication, and then the patient will use the medication on themselves. Inventory should be taken on a regular basis so that we always have a current amount available of exactly what medications we have. In our storage room, we have a checklist where if you take out a box of medications or if you're putting in a new box of medications, we record everything to make sure that we have an exact amount of exactly how many medications that we have. The way we dispose of our medications is when they expire, we back them up and take them down to student health, and student health will properly dispose of them for us. But it's important to understand that expired prescriptions and over-the-counter medications should be disposed according to FDA standards. There are some listed options on their website of different ways to dispose of medications. For example, you can give them to take-back programs. You can mix them without crushing them with unpalpable substances such as kitty litter or used coffee grounds. And always make sure that if you are disposing of a prescription yourself, that you scratch out the entire label of the prescription. Finally, if you have a minor, it's important to understand that you do not administer them any medications without